In a tactical FPS game like Valorant, aim is hands down the most important skill to have. A lot of people might cope or try to tell you otherwise, but at the end of the day, winning comes down to getting kills, and if you can't hit your shots, it becomes the #1 problem holding you back. It's the main thing holding back 99% of low elo players, and in my experience, aim and mechanics alone can get you to Ascendant/Immortal elo. If you are a low elo player, aim should 100% be your focus for improvement. The only problem is, improving your aim takes a long time and lots of practice. But here on the Sena YouTube channel, we don't have time for that. In this video, I'm going to give you 10 easy and simple ways to instantly improve your aim that you can do right now. Every single one of these methods are things that I personally do and that have helped me out a lot. So let's get right into it. The first method is to make sure that you have mouse acceleration turned off. If you don't already know, mouse acceleration is basically where your mouse increases or decreases its sensitivity based on how fast you're moving it. This can be helpful for when you're browsing the internet or just using your desktop, but it's absolutely horrible for gaming because we don't want our sensitivity to be changing all the time. Some of you might have mouse acceleration turned on without even knowing it since it's a default setting, so here's how to turn it off. Open your Windows search bar and type in mouse settings and then open up the mouse settings window. Once you're on this screen, click on additional mouse options on the right side and a smaller pop-up window should appear. Now click on the pointer options tab and make sure that enhance pointer precision is not checked. Enhanced pointer precision is basically the Windows built-in version of mouse acceleration, so once you have this turned off, we can move on to the next step. Next up, what you're going to want to do is find your Riot Games folder on your PC and then find the Valorant application. Once you've found it, right-click on it and then click Properties. Now click on the Compatibility tab and then click Change High DPI Settings. Now check the box that says Override High DPI Scaling Behavior and make sure that it is performed by the application and hit Apply. And finally, for the last step, open up Valorant and go to your settings and make sure that you turn on Raw Input Buffer. Doing all three of these steps will ensure that you do not have mouse acceleration enabled, and this could help you out a lot if you were playing with mouse acceleration on beforehand. The second method I have for you guys is to adjust your sensitivity. Valorant is a low sense game, unlike other games like Apex or Fortnite where you would benefit from a higher sense, and most Valorant players are playing on too high of a sensitivity. The average pro player's EDPI is 280, so I would recommend this as a starting point. If you don't know what EDPI is, it's basically a universal sensitivity where you can find the in-game sense based off of any DPI that you're playing on. So if you're playing on 800 DPI, your starting sense is going to be 0.35. If you're playing on 1600 DPI, your starting sense is going to be 0.175. And if you are playing on 400 DPI, your starting sense is going to be 0.7. Once you're on the sensitivity, you can adjust it up or down depending on how it feels for you. This sensitivity is going to feel different for everybody because it depends on how heavy your mouse is, how fast or slow your mouse pad is, the type of mouse feet that you're using, and a bunch of other factors. I recently got a new mouse pad that was pretty fast, so I actually had to lower my sense down to 0.3 and it feels amazing now. I wasn't able to hit my shots very well and I knew that something was off, so once I lowered my sense, my aim instantly felt so much better. So I know that a lot of you guys can benefit from this if you're using too high or low of a sensitivity. Remember that in Valorant, you're primarily micro adjusting and holding angles with good crosshair placement. You're not really flicking super hard or tracking enemies flying in the air, so honestly a low sense is the best sense that you can have for a game like Valorant. Obviously you can play on a higher sense if that's what you're comfortable with. There's plenty of pros that do that, and don't let me tell you what sense you should use. You should experiment for yourself, but just know that changing your sense can make a night and day difference when it comes to aiming. The third method I have for you guys on instantly improving your aim is to optimize your setup. What I mean by optimizing your setup is optimizing your actual desk that you sit at. A big problem that a lot of players run into is not having enough mouse space, which is why a lot of people resort to using a high Sens because they can't have a lot of mouse room to play on a lower Sens, so they have to compensate for that. If you don't have very much mouse space, it's definitely worth it to try clearing up space on your desk so you have more room to move your mouse, and maybe even investing in a slightly larger mouse pad if it's your mouse pad that's small. How high or low your desk is off the ground is another thing that can affect your aim as well, because if your desk is too high or too low, you're not going to be sitting in an optimal position to aim, and you're going to have to compensate for it. Making sure that your entire setup is optimized and comfortable for your playstyle will definitely help improve your aim a lot. This can go for your peripherals as well. If you're using a really heavy mouse, it can be a pain to drag it around all the time, so maybe getting a lighter mouse might be a worthwhile investment for you as well. I don't know what your setup personally looks like, and it's all personal preference, so make sure that you spend some time optimizing your setup, because I know that I've done this countless times in the past, and it's helped me literally every single time. I personally took the armrests off my chair, and now I rest my arms on my desk, and I cleared out space for a bigger mouse pad, and now I'm the most comfortable I've ever been while playing, and it's helped me improve a ton as well. The fourth method I have for you guys on improving your aim is to prioritize practicing and using one-shot guns like the Sheriff or Guardian when you practice or warm up. You can argue that this might not instantly improve your aim, but it definitely will help you improve your aim very, very fast. By using a one-shot gun like the Sheriff or Guardian, it's a lot more punishing since you can't spray with it, and you have to rely on getting clean headshots, which will force you to improve your aim. Doing the practice bots in the range with these guns or playing deathmatch with these guns will both definitely help you improve your aim quickly, and I do this all the time. Spraying too much is a big bad habit of low elo players, and another reason why aiming can be so hard because of that luxury that you have where you can rely on a spray. But by using guns where you don't have that, it's definitely the best thing that you can do to set yourself up for success with your aim. The fifth method I have for you on instantly improving your aim is to start playing duelists in swift plays and unrated. By playing the duelist role, you get in the action so much more, and you're forced to take a lot more fights. Especially those early round fights where you can get an opening for your team, you're just taking much more fights when you're on a duelist role. This will get you a lot of fight experience very quickly and will help improve your aim drastically. Like I mentioned earlier, you don't have to do this in ranked. I would recommend doing this in swift play or unrated. Just pick a duelist and start pushing everything. By doing this, you're practicing being aggressive and being more confident, and you will get in a lot of fights by doing this, so your aim will improve as well. Similarly to the last tip, this might not be an instant way to improve your aim, but it will definitely be very, very fast compared to just playing the game normally. This is something that I've personally done a lot, and I cannot recommend it enough for players who are really struggling to improve their aim and mechanics, as well as their confidence and just overall agent pool. The sixth method I have for you is to try changing up your crosshair. Oftentimes, changing up your crosshair or just trying out a new one can help you play better. There's been so many times where I just can't get a kill in a game and I'm just doing so bad and I don't know why, and just for some reason when I change my crosshair, something in my brain just changes and I just start playing better out of nowhere. I'm sure a lot of you guys have experienced the exact same thing as well, so I'm just gonna give you guys a few good crosshairs to try out. Some of my favorite crosshairs that I've been using a lot recently are 1420, dot size 2 with outlines on, and 1422. I've also been using 1321 a lot recently as well, and all four of these crosshairs are phenomenal, and I would recommend trying them out if you haven't already. A lot of people say in the comment sections like, oh, crosshair is just placebo, it doesn't actually do anything. But for a lot of people, me included, I actually feel a difference when I'm using a new crosshair, and it definitely does make me play better. The seventh method I have for you on instantly improving your game is to avoid crouching crouching when you're shooting. What happens for most players, especially in low elo, is they'll panic and they'll hold crouch, which makes them spray instead of going for a clean headshot. You can have good aim, but if you panic and crouch spray in your fights, it's going to make you feel like you have terrible aim because of that habit that you've built up over time. If this is a serious bad habit that you struggle with, I would recommend unbinding crouch while you practice and just play some death matches or TDMs or even just swift plays or unrateds like this. Honestly, I've seen such fast improvement by avoiding crouching, and honestly, this tip alone will help you guys out a lot. By not crouching, you'll be a lot less likely to start spraying, and in turn will feel a lot more in control of your aim and will get a lot more clean headshots. The 8th method I have for you is to move your monitor closer to you if possible. If your monitor is really far back and far away from you, it can be harder to perform well in FPS games like Valorant. You see pros do this all the time, especially in LAN tournaments where they all have their monitors super close to their face and they're just locked in and focused. By moving your monitor closer to your face, it'll help you a lot with visibility and seeing enemies on your screen, as well as helping you with focus and being locked in. Now, obviously be careful with this one and don't overdo it, because I do not want you guys burning your eyes by staring at your monitor 1 inch away from your face all day. You don't want it to be too close to your face to the point where you're damaging your eyes, but ever since I started playing with my monitor closer, it helped me out a lot in game, and it was definitely a noticeable difference. The 9th method I have for you is to turn off VSync if you don't experience screen tearing. The purpose of VSync, or vertical synchronization, is to match your game's FPS with your monitor's refresh rate. This is done to prevent screen tearing, but can come with a lot of drawbacks. I was researching this like a schizo man and came to the conclusion that VSync can cause input lag. This can make your aim feel a lot less responsive, and pretty much everybody I know has said to turn VSync off for gaming. This setting would be more beneficial for single player games or story games where getting the perfect input response doesn't matter as much, but in a competitive game like Valorant, you definitely don't want this on. The only situation where I can see this being helpful is if you have a really low-end PC and you are experiencing screen tearing, because that's the whole purpose of VSync. If screen tearing isn't an issue for you, I would recommend turning this off, and you will feel your aim feel more responsive if you had it on previously. To turn this off, you can do it in NVIDIA Control Panel or AMD depending on which system you're using. And I can't remember exactly, but there might be a VSync setting in-game in Valorant as well that you can adjust, so I'll throw that on screen if there is one. The 10th and final method that I have for you to instantly improve your aim is to do hand and wrist stretches before playing and be relaxed while you're playing. I don't know about you guys, but if I don't stretch my hands and wrists before playing, I feel so stiff in my mouse movements and it can feel really hard to aim. And being relaxed will help you get into the flow state a lot easier. Sometimes if I get on and my aim is just feeling off, I'll literally go to my sink, wash my hands with warm water, and then do wrist stretches, and then come back, and then all of a sudden I feel like my aim is just warmed up now. Not only that, but it's also just a good habit to have so you don't get wrist cramps or you don't damage your wrists or hands in any way with overuse. And there you guys have it. There are 10 easy ways to instantly improve your aim. Like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, these are all methods that I personally use and that have helped me out a lot. If you know any other methods or tips that I didn't mention in this video, or if you have any questions on any of these methods, let me know down in the comment section below so I or someone else can help you out. I'm so happy to get this video out here for you guys, and I apologize for the slight inactivity on the channel. I've honestly just been really busy with stuff in life and haven't been playing Valorant as much recently, so I haven't had as much time to upload. I'm so excited to get back into the groove of things, and I just want to thank all of you for all of the support that you guys have shown on this channel over the years. I don't take any of it for granted, and you guys are genuinely the best and have genuinely changed my life forever. We're getting super close to hitting 200,000 subscribers here on the channel, so make sure to go hit that sub button if you haven't already, and drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it or found it helpful in any way. I have a Discord link down in the description below. You guys should come join up. We have a super chill community. We would love to have you. Thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day or night to watch this video, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace out.